Welcome back to TV47 News tonight with me, Abu Bakr Abdullahi. Thank you for staying with us here on the county's television. And as earlier promised, we are talking matters politics, Mount Kenya politics to be specific. And as earlier hinted, our guest tonight is Mathira lawmaker Rigathi Gachagua, who joins us live on studio. But nonetheless, as a viewer, your opinion counts and matters. Keep talking to us. The hashtag to use is TV47 News. Send us a message on 22047. And before we begin this discussion, let me go through some. Nixon kutoka Kindaruma says, I hope there won't be such shouting debate here in Kenya like that of Trump and Biden come campaign period in 2022. Nixon, we also hope so. Salimia Honorable Rigathi ametufanyia mambo mengi. That is Kambo from Mathira. Keep talking to us and let's get to that discussion. Mheshimiwa, good evening and thank you for making time for us tonight on TV47.
Good evening, Abu Bakr. I'm thankful that you have invited me. I have not been here before.
Yes.
This is a nice place. It looks good. You look like serious people.
We are serious and we hope this will be the first of many invites.
Okay.
Let's get to our topic of discussion. In June this year, you said, and I quote, that you are being harassed and intimidated by, quote, the system over your firm stand on the 2022 succession. First, who is intimidating you?
Well, Abu Bakr, there are people in government. They are shadow figures who pull strings from behind and who think they can control people and their thinking. And I want to say that that is not possible. I served the Moi government many years back. And what we are seeing today is what used to happen then. And I want to say it cannot happen. 30 years is a long time. You cannot introduce, what was happening then in the 1990s.
And why would they target you individually?
Abu Bakr, we are being targeted, many of us who, are friends and supporters of the Deputy President. And those of us like myself who speak openly and without fear about our people. I have been talking very candidly about our farmers. The tea farmers, the coffee farmers, the milk farmers. You remember that time I was very vocal when milk was being sold at 10 shillings and milk was being given to dogs in Nyandarua. And I rubbed many people the wrong way. And one of the roles of a member of parliament is representation. When I speak, I don't speak for myself. I speak for my people. When my people are brutalized and evicted from Mutuba in Karatina, I'm not expected to keep quiet. And there are people in government who are uncomfortable. That I speak for the downtrodden, I speak for the people who are lowly, I speak for the poor, and they are unhappy.
And when you say there are people in government, how high or low are these
quite
people
high,
in government?
Quite high.
Quite high to the extremes of?
I wouldn't know how high, but it's quite high because when you see the level of harassment and intimidation, at that time, I think listening to a lot of fitina, they were told that if they froze my account, I would tone down and I would go kneeling and begging because ideally many people say these Kikuyus, they love money. So if you want to teach them a lesson, hold their money and they'll come kneeling.
We will come to the question of the freezing of the accounts.
Yes.
But you say that you are being intimidated for your firm stand on the 2022 succession.
Yes.
What is that firm stand?
My firm stand is that we in Jubilee had a pact, had an arrangement that Uhuru Kenyatta, our president, whom we love, whom we supported, and whom we worked very hard to make him president, would do 10 years after that. His deputy would do another 10 years. Along the way, after the handshake, some people started changing the story. And quite a number of us, I included, said no. Some of us are Christians. We are also fairly straightforward people. Our community is a community of business people. Business thrives on trust. Our community cannot be depicted as a community of conmen and fraudsters. And
when you say, just to be fair, when you say our community, which community do you mean?
The Mount Kenya people. The Kikuyu people, the Meru people, the M people. We are people who are straightforward. And our credibility is at stake. We don't want to be seen by the rest of Kenyans. Our people who are users, our people who thrive on lies, our people who thrive on fraud. What we do in business your word must have absolute value. Abubakar, if you called me here today,
yes.
I said I'll be at 9.
Good.
I'm here at 9. If I did not come at 9 and I switched my phone off, another day you call me, you only believe I'll come when you see me.
All right, you talk of the system, you talk of your standing as far as the 2022 politics is concerned, but why is the Asset Recovery Agency saying that this targeting is because of what they term as a complex scheme of money laundering?
Abubakar, we have a situation where the state is using the criminal justice system to punish people who have a divergent opinion, which is very unfair and very unfortunate. I never dreamt that a government that I fought for, a government that I believe in, a government that came in on democratic principles would use the criminal justice system to shut people up who have done well.
But these are investigators who are questioning 5.7 billion shillings.
They are questioning nothing. Let me tell you.
They are questioning 5.7 billion shillings.
Let me tell you, Abubakar.
Yes.
This is business done 12, 11 years ago. Not during this period of Uhuru Kenyatta. We had a lot of foreign business during Kibaki's time. There's nothing like 5.7 billion. This is movement of money in the sense that if you put your money in a fixed deposit, 200 million, say for example, every month they move it from your fixed deposit to your personal account. So it shows a movement. What would happen in 1 year, if you put it on a 3-month period, it will show 800 million. In 7 years, it will show 5.8 billion. These investigators are a joke. You know, the same money.
And before you conclude,
let me tell you, the same money moving 4 times a year, it moves from your personal account to a fixed deposit. So if you look without being a banker, you think this man received 800 million, but it's the same amount.
And you are saying this amount, this is genuine money?
This is genuine money. It's money that we have worked for. It's money that we have earned through hard work. It's money whose source is known. Source is government. Government cannot deal with the process of crime.
All right, and the same investigators say that you have received funds from the Ministry of Land, the State Department of Planning, the Ministry of Health, Bungoma County Government, Mathira CDF, Nyeri County Government, and the National Irrigation Board.
It's all lies.
These are payments that the investigators are talking about.
Today, since they made those allegations, it is 4 months. Nothing has come out of it because it's nothing. It was just an attempt to really try to intimidate me and try to put me in a situation where I can go looking for somebody to kneel down and beg. I cannot beg anybody. And
because these are entities, government or private, that are being mentioned, have you had businesses with them?
No. I have done with some. I've never done business with Nyeri County Government. People think that because my little brother was governor, obviously I was doing business with the Nyeri County Government. I have never done business with county government. I have never done business with the county government of Bungoma. I have done business with the Ministry of Lands, yes. I have never done business with the National Irrigation Board. What I have is that I have people that were business associates who have traded with those people, and myself or them who have transactions. And have they at any point used your influence? I had no influence. Business? I was just elected the other day. This is money that I made in 2012, 2011. I was an ordinary Kenyan like any other, just an astute businessman. I was not governor, I was not MP, I was not Minister for Lands, I was not PS for Lands. What influence could I have over those entities? I was just elected in 2017 and I've never headed any of those ministries. I've never headed any of those county government. So what influence would I have? And just to be clear, you say there is no influence in all these deals. Influence from where? I was just an ordinary businessman like any other. How would I apply influence when I'm not in a position of influence? But you are a businessman, a well-experienced civil servant. Now I'm just a good businessman who knows what he's doing. I tenders or advertise. I apply. I win. I do a good job. I would like somebody to come and say, Mheshimiwa was awarded a contract to do ABCD. He did not do. He was paid so many millions and disappeared. Nobody is saying that. All this work was done and paid for. They have gone everywhere all over the country where they were looking for me. What I know is that there were instructions to look for anything to take me to court. And they were told, even if there is nothing, look for anything. Trumped up charges. And what I would like to say, we have reached a point where we are tired. Let them look for whatever they have, either real or imaginary, and take me to court and charge me in a court of law. and then the courts will listen, and our courts are good. You know, we know where you can get justice today is the courts. We don't expect any justice from DCI. We don't expect any justice from asset recovery, because these are agencies that are being used to settle politics.
I want us to move from this and get to Mount Kenya politics, but one final question. You say these are instructions. Instructions from who?
From people up in government.
And you don't want to mention names?
I don't know the exact person, but what these investigators tell us, these people, when they question people close to me, we are looking for Mheshimiwa, not you. You know, you people, you are just an innocent person. You are just here by association. We are so sorry. We keep on questioning you, but the man we are looking for is Mheshimiwa. That asset recovery agency. And who is that Mheshimiwa? That asset recovery agency have never called me to ask me where I got my money from.
All right, you say they're looking
you must give somebody a chance. The laws of natural justice say no man must be condemned unheard. None of them has ever called me to ask me, you have this money. If they had called me, they would not be talking about 5.8 billion. I would have explained to them that these are the same transactions over a period of 7 years. In any case, if it was money that is not good, how would you keep it somewhere for 7 years? That is money that is just there.
All right.
This is my money.
Interestingly, you say when they come to you, they say they are looking for Mheshimiwa.
No, they tell the people they call for interrogation. By the way, they have never called me.
They have never.
This is 5 months. But they call people close to me, people who have done business with me, people I have associated with, people who have transferred money to me, people I have transferred money to, and they tell them, we are not interested in you. We are interested in Mheshimiwa. We have instructions to nail this guy down.
And that Mheshimiwa is you.
Yeah.
Good. Let's move from that and get to Mount Kenya politics. Yeah. Why does it seem as though some politicians from the president's political backyard are opposed to him?
We are not opposed to the president. That is a narrative that is being created by people who are interested in staying in power, and they hide behind the president. The president is not a candidate in the next election. How can you be opposed to him?
So when Ndindi Nyoro, for instance, says the president has failed the country, that's a strong opinion in the public from a politician who is from the president's political backyard.
You know, we support the president for what is right and for what is just. But that does not mean we cannot criticize where it is necessary. What somebody should tell us is how we fight the president. President has brought names of cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries in parliament. We have processed them and passed them according to what he wants. Anytime he has brought the budget, we have passed for him. There is no bill he has brought to parliament that we have failed to pass. How else do you support a president? President Kenyatta is on his final term. He is not a candidate in 2022. Let us not confuse issues. What we need to do to support the president is to support the Big Four agenda, is to support all his programs, and to make sure that whatever brings to parliament, we pass for him. And that we have done, to a man.
All right.
And there's nothing he has ever brought to parliament that has not been supported by us.
All right, you say to support him, the programs he initiates, what he does as the president. Yes. He shook hands with his then political rival, Raila Odinga.
Yes.
It caused political jitteries.
Yes.
Some saying they are not party to it.
Yes.
Why is Central in totality not supporting that?
Because it was not in our manifesto. Abu Bakr, we had a manifesto, the Jubilee manifesto. Build affordable housing, universal health care for all, food security, manufacturing, roads. Those are our agenda as Jubilee. The handshake was not our agenda, and it has never been. And the president did not talk to us. He did not even explain to us what it is all about. And we did not understand it. And we must be forgiven for saying you cannot support that which you don't understand. All of us above 18, we are people who have gone to school. I'm a graduate of political science. You can't take me to take a position that I don't understand. I needed somebody to call me. And he would have called the Jubilee parliamentary group and tell us, gentlemen, we have seen because of ABCD, let us engage this man for whatever reason, and we dialogue, we talk about it, and then all of us come on board. This thing happened, we saw it, we were told support. And we are saying we are above 18, we are people who have gone to school.
But the president has in many instances, publicly or even while addressing special press conferences, talked about the handshake, the unity factor in that handshake. You still don't buy that was enough to convince
not
you?
in press conferences. We have a caucus of legislators. What you do, you talk as a house.
But this is your party leader who makes a political statement publicly saying, I'm doing this for the purpose of the unity of the country.
But we must also get convinced. We are also leaders, and we are also elected by the people. And by the way, we as leaders didn't even have a big problem. The problem came when we went to the people. They told us they don't want anything to do with Raila Odinga, because all along they have known Raila is their problem. The president himself has been on record many a time telling the central people, Kenya, this is our problem. So when he turns up one day and say, no, this man is good, people are not persuaded that quickly. We needed a conversation, and a good conversation, not trying to bring it by force or putting it down people's throats. A persuasive, people must be persuaded. These are leaders, and Wananchi also are very clever people. You must persuade them, even ourselves as a constituency. When we want a certain program, you call leaders and persuade them. You talk to them.
If the president did not persuade you and your fellow leaders from the region to support that, have you as leaders tried to seek an explanation, an answer from the party leader?
No, because we have not met for a long time. We have not met for 3 years. And as a party, when you don't meet their problems, because people interpret things differently. Had the party been meeting consistently, I'm sure the president will persuade us. There is one time there was a bill in parliament that we had a problem with, about the VAT on fuel. And we were opposed to it, and we wanted to bring it down. He called us to State House with the deputy president. They talked to us for 2 hours and persuaded us to agree to 8%. We were persuaded, although we were not convinced. But he persuaded us as the party leader. He told us to look at the big picture. We need to create revenue. We need to do the big four. And if we don't collect money, our programs will stall. And we were persuaded. I'm sure if we had been called about the handshake and sat down and taken through the motions and the reason behind it, more chances are 70 to 30. The president is also a very persuasive man. By the way, he's very persuasive.
And now that the report to some quarters is ready, if the president calls you, is it too late for him to explain?
No, it's not.
It's not.
Ourselves, by the way, we have a lot of respect for our president. Myself, I was his personal assistant for 7 years. I have a lot of high regard. Even when the people of Central Kenya did not think he is anything, they did not think he can make anything, they did not think he is qualified to be president, I'm the only person who was with him saying, this is a guy, I believe in him and he can do it. And I was vindicated 10 years later when he became president. I'm sure if President Uhuru Kenyatta decided to sit us down and take us through, it's not belated, by the way. There is still time. We can still talk about it. And if he persuades us, we will come along. We don't have a problem.
All right, let's move from the handshake and finally talk about the push by some urging the deputy president, a man who you publicly support, and you have also done that in this show tonight, to resign. Is resigning an option for the deputy president?
It's not an option. The deputy president is not a fellow written somewhere by chalk that you can just rub with a duster. This is a guy who was elected by the people of Kenya through the ballot. 8 billion people. You can't ask him to resign, and William Ruto will not resign. He will serve his term until the end. And let me tell you, these people who are asking him to resign, whom do they speak for? Whom does David Morales speak for? Who is he in this country? Who is he in the governance structure of this country? When Kanini Kega, the new chairman of the Budget and Appropriation Committee, says that he will deny the deputy president funds for his office because he did not attend a meeting, he doesn't know. He's just chairman. The work of appropriating money is parliament.
But is it not the concern?
And if he brings that bill to parliament, let me tell you, we'll bring down the entire budget.
Is it not?
And we dare him, if he's man enough, to remove money for the office of the deputy president.
Is it not the concern then that some feel as though the deputy president is absconding his duties as the deputy president?
My friend Abubakar.
Yes.
This COVID did not come yesterday with the conference. COVID has been there since March. There has been 12 meetings to arrange and plan about the pandemic. Nobody found it necessary to invite the deputy president. I never heard anybody complaining that he has absconded duty. He was being called to attend the final audit. What would he have done? He would have been a stranger. He would have been lost. There have been 12 meetings. This program has been going on for 6 months.
You say he would have been a stranger by choice or a stranger by circumstance?
He would have been lost in the discussion.
And then would have he been a stranger by choice or a stranger by circumstance?
By circumstances, in the sense that 12 meetings have been held. Nobody found him important enough to be called to come and participate in how to deal with this pandemic. When it is all done at the tail end, when people now are coming to give an audit and the lessons learned from it, how was it? What was he supposed to contribute? He has not been a part of it. Everybody was standing and saying what he has done. What would have the deputy president stood to say he has not been part of it?
Which begs the question, should he not have been part of it?
He should have been part of it. But you know, the deputy president, his duties are very well defined. He is assigned duties by the president. He cannot force himself on any exercise. If he is invited to come and participate, he participates. And he does very well. And during the first term, he did a lot of work because the president assigned him duties. His duties were taken and given to Fred Matiang'i. And he sat back and respected his boss. He has never complained. He has never said anything. Now, all these busybodies who are talking, one, there are people, some members of parliament, who thinks they speak for President Kenyatta. If President Kenyatta has a problem with his deputy that he does not perform, he'll call him and tell him so. Who are these members of parliament? What role is this they are arrogating themselves that they can pretend and supervise the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya? These are fellows who are having a problem on the ground with the people. They have not even been able to take care of their constituencies, yet they want to say that they can audit and supervise and pretend the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya.
So you say he will not resign?
How would you resign a job you are given by the people of Kenya, and the people of Kenya have not told him to resign?
All right, Mheshimiwa, that point is where we will have to end this discussion. Thank you once
again. Before we end,
yes.
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
I have seen people accusing the deputy president of giving wheelbarrows, of giving mukokoteni, of giving bicycles, of giving border borders. I want to tell these people, don't bother with the deputy president. If you find the deputy president is giving mukokoteni and wheelbarrows, and you have a problem with the wheelbarrows and mukokoteni because you demean the people who use those things, what you do, there are many Kenyans who need assistance. What the deputy president is dealing with, there are very few Kenyans. Call your people, give them what is you think is appropriate. Give them cars, give them buses, give them whatever you think is appropriate. But you know, the Swahili people say, pilipili usiosila inakuasha nini. If you think that giving wheelbarrow and giving mukokoteni is demeaning, get Kenyans, because there are many Kenyans who are struggling. Give them what you think is appropriate. Most of these fellows who are shouting that the deputy president is giving mukokoteni and other things to empower the people who are down there are not known to have given anybody anything. And we are asking people, we are challenging, we give them a challenge to produce a single picture of all these fellows who are making noise, giving something.
But the second in command, the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, one would suppose should be crafting policies that are youth friendly than giving wheelbarrows.
I don't think so.
Why
let me tell you, policies are created, but along the way, you also continue empowering the lowly. What is happening and why many people have a problem? And to me, what is important is not even giving the wheelbarrows and the mukokoteni. It has a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya has created time to listen to people nobody listens to. People who need mukokoteni, people who deal with wheelbarrows, nobody has ever found time to listen to these people.
But as the deputy president, there is a natural expectation that he should listen to them. It's not a matter of...
No, that is why people are finding it bad, because they don't listen to them and they are feeling bad. And therefore they want to demean it, and it looks like a bad thing because they don't do it. Let them, there are many Kenyans who want somebody to listen to. Let Musalia listen to some Kenyans. Let Raila listen to some Kenyans. Let Ruto listen to some Kenyans. Let Uhuru listen to some Kenyans. Let everybody listen to some Kenyans. If we all listen to some Kenyans, all these people who are down there, they'll understand why they need a wheelbarrow, why they need a mkokoteni. But if you don't listen to these characters, you think that boda boda and mkokoteni is a demeaning activity. Every hustle matters, and let them respect Kenyans. Even if their hustle is so small, even if they drive mkokoteni, they are Kenyans, and they are human beings. They are made in the image of God. Let them not demean these characters because of what they do for
Point
them.
made, Mheshimiwa, and at that point of listening, we will have to end the discussion. Thank you once again for making time for us.
Thank you.
And thank you, the viewer, for listening to this discussion. On behalf of the entire team that made this production possible tonight of all nights, bye for now, but enjoy the rest of our programs.